Hi everyone, my name is Charlie, and today I'm going to do my January wrap-up. My laptop has died, therefore I'm having to record this video on my phone and hope that we can get it all done in one take. Therefore, please do not expect very in-depth reviews about these books. I will try and record videos at a later date with full reviews of these videos, with all the bells and whistles. Some of them I don't need to because I spent January rereading, but we will get into that. I've even had to bring the notebook that my nan gave me to record all of my reading in years ago. How long have we've been recording in this? Since 2016. So, because I have no memory at all. The first book that I read in January was Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson. If you have been following this channel for any length of time, you will know that I read this book for the first time in January 2016. I reread it in February. I reread it a few times that year. It is a book that I find immensely funny and therefore keep going back and rereading it. Ariel Bissett said a few years ago how she'll start the year with a book she knows she likes to get rid of that fear, almost anxiety of having to read a really good book at the start of the year. And so I did that with Furiously Happy last year, and I've done it again this year. Next, I read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and I did 4 videos about this, so I'll leave a link to them somewhere. But needless to say, I have a strange relationship with that book, because every time I read it, it makes me question just what I'm writing for, and we seem to disagree on a few things, but I kind of like that in a book if it does inspire some sort of thought. Next, I reread Very Good Lies by J.K. Rowling. I simply read this because it was a short book I knew I could get through quickly, and I was annoyed with myself for having not finished a book in a few weeks then. This is based on a speech she gave however many years ago, and I think if you're a fan of J.K. Rowling, then it's a book to get. I got it as a birthday present, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it myself. I don't think that it's something that people need in their lives, but it exists. Next, we have The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan, and I have a review for this, so I will leave a link to that as well. And basically, I finally read this after Dave over at Wild Reads has been talking about this book for a while, and I enjoyed it, and I think I used the word cozy a lot in my review. That was a long review that ended up being rather short, but I think you get the sense that I actually enjoyed the book overall. Next, I listened to Hunger by Roxane Gay on audiobook, and this was a book that I don't have mixed feelings about at all. I think that this book is I don't know how to talk about this book because I didn't enjoy hearing what I heard in the book, but I think that it is this very raw memoir that discusses weight and Roxane Gay's life, and I think that it's very difficult to be critical of the way someone presents their life story. The chapters were rather short, which I think worked in the book's favour because there are some very difficult topics to hear about in there. And there were some things mentioned in there where me and Roxane Gay have done similar things in our lives. I also did read this. I also wanted to read this because of doing this Size Matters series where I discuss the weight loss and everything, and I thought that it'd be good to look at the ways other writers approach weight. So this does mean I might have to read that Lionel Shriver book I've been putting off. But anyway, yes, if you don't mind emotionally difficult books, then this would be an alright book for you. Yeah. Next, I finally read Fool's Fate by Robin Hobb. This 800 and something page behemoth of a book has been haunting me since I first began the Hobbalong. I have wanted to get to this book for ages because Sam, over at Sam's Nonsense, says that this was her favourite book in the series. However, because of The Golden Fool, which was the second book in this trilogy, I had been put off from reading it. And this completely changed my opinion. I forgot The Golden Fool. I'd enjoyed the middle 200 pages in that book and didn't understand the latter part of it. With Fool's Fate, I do think that we have a similar problem in that it seems to reach a climax 200 pages before the book actually ends, and then Robin Hobb does spend those final 200 pages wrapping up any loose ends that there may be, and I'm still not quite sure how I feel about that. This is a book I will be recording a full review of, because I have done that with all of the Robin Hobb books. I discovered I never actually uploaded my Mad Ship review for the Live Ship Traders trilogy, and now I don't know that I will, because I think I chose not to upload it because everything I said in a wrap-up was what I felt about that book. But with Fool's Fate, I will be recording a full review in which I do talk about this book more at length, but do know I think that it was an excellent end to the series, and that it focused on the relationship between Fitz and the Fool. There was a return of a character that I have missed, and even though I didn't get to see them for the length of time that I wanted to, this book still made me feel some sort of grief, and I do actually kind of hate when books make me feel some sort of emotional response, because, you know, I'm trying to live life as like this emotionless husk here, and it's very difficult when certain things happen to characters and you're there blaming onions for the reason that your eye will not stop watering. To be fair, it could have been the onions, but I don't know. We don't know whether it was onions or whether it was tears, but that was a very sad ending to a book. Well, no, it wasn't a sad ending. It was just a sad 3/4 of the way in a book. And finally, I read Death in Sunset Grove, and I think that this is by Nina Lundgren. I will have to find out because I've forgotten the author's name. This book is set in a retirement home and is translated from the Swedish. Once again, I can't remember who translated it. I've taken the book back to the library already, but I will leave the information to that book in the description. This book I bought because I thought that it was going to be a cosy crime novel. I'm the type of person that really goes off what a cover is showing me, and this cover to me looked like modern cosy crime fiction. It said it was following older characters. The blurb mentioned Miss Marple, and so I thought, well, here we go. I like older characters and I like cosy crime, and this is going to be great. And Lord, for the first 100 pages, this book was cosy, and it was making me laugh. And then it took a really dark turn, and there is stuff happening with abuse in care homes and abuse of power that honestly just made me feel completely uneasy. There were acts within this book that were committed to these older people that I was honestly astounded by. I know that it has happened in the past in places, and I think that it's good that it's been talked about in fiction, but it was not what I expected when I was going into this book. And I don't know whether this is a problem with the way it was blurbed and the way it was packaged, but it definitely shocked me. And also, I'd expected, like, murder or something. I'd expected some sort of... Morning, Mr. Magpie. I'd expected some sort of different crime than the crime that was actually presented, and I don't know whether there was a problem in translation with this book, but there were definitely a few issues with where facts were glossed over, and I constantly felt like I was missing information. And I don't know whether this was to give you the sense that these characters may have dementia, but to me it confused me a little. However, I will be going on and reading the next books within that series, because these were characters that I did end up enjoying, and I do want to see what they're getting up to in the future. And I think that that says a lot, that these were very strong characters that I didn't want to see these bad things happening to them. Anyway, like I say, those Fool's Fate and Death at Sunset Grove you can expect full reviews on. Hunger I might be talking about in a Size Matters video. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there and try and hope that this video can be uploaded in its entirety with a lack of books at some point today. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, that is all.